Last night on MasterChef Australia.
This is by far the most important challenge that you've faced so far.
A delicious two-course meal saw Justine win the invention test. But for Poe, Andre and Jenny, their dishes didn't make the grade.
Going to the pressure test again is just going to be really tough.
Tonight, they go head-to-head.
The question is, who will be able to handle it?
And for one of them, it will all end.
I think this is a bit harder than they thought. They're running out of time.
It must be the hardest moment since I've been in the competition.
Looking at the other dishes, do you think you've done enough to keep yourself safe?
There can only be one master chef, and they will get the chance to work in Australia's top restaurants, publish their own cookbook, and win $100,000.
Waking up this morning, it felt a bit strange because I've never been in the pressure test before and this is my first time, so I do feel a little bit uneasy about it.
There's nothing in there that really leaps out and says, wow.
Poe, Andre, Jenny, you are the bottom three.
The hardest thing about today's pressure test is cooking against Andre and Poe. I usually cook for pleasure, for people I love. But now I've got to cook against people that I love.
Yesterday was just a really rude awakening. I'm in this position because I keep taking these crazy risks.
It was supposed to be deep-fried meringue.
You've done your normal thing of trying something you've never done before. Oh no, oh Poe.
A little bit worried about Poe. She's feeling a little bit down at the moment, so hopefully she can keep herself up to get through.
I sort of understand where Poe's at today. I think that being down is not a good place to be.
You know how you sort of panicked last time? You know where you go when you're pained? Go there when you cook today. Thanks, Jenny.
I hope that I can prove to the judges that I can be sensible and play the competition.
Jean and Andre haven't done a pressure test yet, have they?
No, that's going to be a whole new experience for them.
It was slightly liberating being in the bottom three, refreshing. It's kicked me up the arse.
Because I like you, Andre. I've swallowed it.
It's horrible.
Are you upset that we're commenting?
No, not at all. I want to be a chef.
That's good.
That's what the problem is, right? That's what the problem is. So to don the black gear is an honour.
Look, any one of them, Andre, Poe or Jenny, could easily win. You know, they're all really good cooks. It's going to take one of them to make a mistake. That's what it'll come down to.
So good to not be down there today.
I actually think I would find it quite hard to go on without them in the competition.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm in the pressure test with two people I respect hugely, so it is hard, but I can't think of two better people to be in the trenches fighting a war with.
I look up at the balcony and there's only 4 people standing up there. And one of us is leaving today. Yeah, just very strange and nervous as to what the challenge is going to be.
I've had 2 weeks out of the pressure test now, which is lovely. It is definitely a sport better watched from above than being down there.
As the name suggests, there's no escaping the fact that today you'll be under intense pressure. The question is, who will be able to handle it?
So I bet you're dying to know what you're going to cook today. Well, I am going to reveal the dish. Poe, what are you hoping's under this silver lid?
I have a feeling it might be savoury today.
Interesting. Jenny?
I had a dream.
You had a dream?
That I was trying to get this salmon mousse out and I couldn't get with my sore finger, all this little...
Yeah, a salmon mousse. You had a dream that you were trying to get a salmon mousse out?
Yeah. I had this amazing nightmare of this salmon mousse that I couldn't actually unmold. The different layers and bisques in between.
Wow, what a dream. Did you wake up in a cold sweat?
No.
Andre, what are you hoping it might be?
Well, after that little interaction, I'm thinking it might be a mousse of some sort. And if it is, then Jeannie's quite a special woman for having that dream.
Well, let's reveal the dish that you will be making or cooking today. And it is... a terrine of smoked salmon, anchovy butter, with a hazelnut dressing, baby herbs, and avocado. Served with a grilled sourdough bread.
I just could not believe it. I thought I'm really psychic.
Jenny, you were pretty close. That was a hell of a dream.
Yeah.
This dish, I think, is a beautiful and lightly composed dish. Lots of little elements for you to take on board to challenge you and challenge your skills. Turning it out of the mould could be difficult.
Poe, do you want to come up and taste?
The mousse is really, really smooth and very, very creamy, and yeah, salmon's whole, so there's still a bit of bite in it. And the avocado is beautiful.
Jenny?
So you got avocado. It's not a mousse, is it? I really feel a disadvantage today. I am nervous mainly because I know I won't be able to do a very delicate work. I've got 2 injured fingers. Felt this sort of wish sliced here, and my finger, half of it, I think, is off.
Easy to make, you think? You're confident?
I hope so, yeah.
You look a bit worried.
Yeah, I've never done one, and it's obviously a really soft touch to do this.
Yeah.
You can see the layer, how the layers, it's quite an engineering feat, really.
It is, isn't it? No, you've hit the nail on the head. It's quite feminine, the dish, yeah?
It is.
So delicate, you know, delicate touches are very important here.
This is very much a modern French terrine. There's an awful lot of flavours there, and quite big flavours, that need to be balanced in what is basically a very delicate, summery dish. But the first thing you must get right is how it looks, because the big issue with terrines is if those layers aren't even, it's going to look ugly.
So this is how it's going to go. You've got an hour and a half, but within 45 minutes of that hour and a half, you need to have that terrine in the freezer. If it's not in the freezer, goodbye, Charlie. You're going to be in big problems.
You're standing here because you produced the 3 least impressive dishes in the invention test. So today, one of you is going home. You have an hour and a half before that terrine needs to come out of the fridge. Your time starts now.
Gary yells out, it's time to start. They all rush to get their equipment up on the benches and get going. But the strange thing is, they're all doing different things.
So, Andre started with salmon. Jenny started with butter. Poe started with the mould.
What does the recipe say?
The recipe starts with the salmon.
It's interesting.
God, they're going to be careful.
Yeah, they really do.
The first thing I do is line the mould with cling film, and to do that I have to oil it first and then basically ease out any of the wrinkles.
It's really important to get the cling film right, because when we turn it over, this is going to be a crucial factor in lifting the terrine out.
It could sort of interfere with how the terrine looks, and you might have trouble turning the mould over.
Poe.
Yes.
Is there any wrinkles?
There's lots of wrinkles.
See what you're doing now? That's exactly what you got to do, and tease it.
Oh.
Tease it. See what you just did, and tease it into the corner.
Okay.
So you lift and tease into the corner.
You definitely got a delicate touch, which is good.
Yeah. You've done all right.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't seem to have that many worries about me.
The first thing I do is to tend to my salmon and cut it up, get the brown bits off. I was just doing perfect rectangles, straight edged as much as I could.
Hey, Andre.
What you're doing there is fantastic. You're getting a straight edge and you're getting rid of that bloodline. And all these are really important little pieces, yeah? You never know when you might need them.
No.
All right.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
Jenny?
You having trouble with your cling film?
No, it's fine.
Yeah. It's very wrinkly. I think you just need to think about it a bit more. If you take 2 bits of cling film and you put them together like that, so you've now got a big bit of cling film, and then you can lay that in gently, and you might find that easier.
You okay, Jenny?
Yeah.
Yeah? A bit stressed?
Yeah.
Because you're getting behind a bit and everybody else is starting to get... That's it. You're off. All right?
Yeah, thank you.
I'm watching over all of them today, but in particular Jenny. I have a real soft spot in my heart for Jenny, and I want her to do well.
There's no doubt Poe's out in front. Yeah, she looks like she's got this one under control.
Process the butter in the food processor until it's really pale and thick. Add the lemon rind, anchovies, and then season it to taste, and then process it to combine.
It's getting there, it's all right.
I sort of understand where Poe's at today. She was in the Crock and Bush challenge last week and she flipped a lid halfway through.
I don't know what to do.
Just do it. Pick yourself up and let's go. Yeah? All right?
It nearly cost her the competition. So she's approached this challenge with a much more determined and calm demeanour.
Yay.
To make sure that the butter is really light and fluffy.
Yes.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I love when butter cherries like that.
I was a little bit lagging. I took a little bit too long.
I've nearly finished trimming the salmon, so then I'll go straight onto the butter that sandwiches the salmon.
We were thinking that Jeannie had cut her salmon very particularly, and as a result, it was just taking forever.
I'm just about to start lining my terrine with salmon.
It's really just about construction, and this is right up my alley, being an artist.
I thought I'll start getting my butter soft into the blender, because that can be on and off while I'm concentrating in lining the mold and trimming the salmon.
I've got a new appreciation for terrines. I don't eat them often, but this was quite tricky.
I'm going to start the terrine, and so firstly I put in a base of smoked salmon. Then using a crank spatula, I spread an even layer of the butter over the salmon.
How you going?
Yeah, I think I'm going okay. I've done 2 layers.
You've got to visualise this, not from the top as you're building it, but from the side. You've got to be thinking, how does that look? You know, I've got a little slither of salmon now, I need a little slither of butter, effectively. Create those nice layers.
Yes.
Just over halfway you've got to go on that terrine. You know, if you move it, you might be all right, you know?
Okay.
Andre's on a roll in regards to the layering. You've got to make sure that you don't put too much butter through the terrine. It's got to be quite delicate.
Jenny was still going. She just so slow at this, and it looked quite rough. She spent more than 5 minutes doing one layer. And she was mucking around with the salmon, and I don't think her terrine's actually going to set up.
How you going, Jenny?
All right.
Is it nice and even and cut right to the edges?
Yeah, I'm going to cut it after, ain't I?
You're going to cut it that way after, not that way.
When the judges come around, they explain to her how to do it right.
Now, if you think about it, they work really well together, don't they?
Yeah.
Because if you turn that round like that,
and then
they fit
paste
together, don't they?
Yeah.
And you've got a straight edge and a straight edge. So rather than having all those little bits in there.
So she starts from the beginning, and I think she wastes about 5 minutes or 10 minutes, which is not a good thing.
For me, it makes it harder only because it's so delicate and I'm out of touch with my hands.
I think this is a bit harder than they thought. They're all smiles. They thought it was easy, but now you can see the hands are shaking, they're wobbling, they're running out of time. What do you think?
Jenny's not herself today. She looks really under pressure.
What about Andre? What do you think?
So I think he might be able to do it.
Problem is, though, he set himself up really well, but now I reckon he's behind.
Yeah. Po's looking really good. She's got that arty mind, and I think she's applying all of her art knowledge into building it.
Look, George, it all depends. You know, if they get that terrine in the fridge in time, it depends whether or not it's set. We could have 3 beautiful terrines or 3 terrible terrines. They've never made them before, so it could go either way.
Totally.
Oh, you're going great. Flying, mate.
It's really hard to say who you support.
Come on, Jeannie. You can do it.
It's a difficult situation to be in, to watch the 3 of them competing to stay in the competition.
Andre, you're not going to use either end, so you're being so perfect in the corners.
Oh,
you just
really?
need 2 good slices out of the middle.
Yeah. So you're saying do a rough one, you reckon?
No, you're doing a good job.
Doing a great job.
Great job, mate.
45 minutes has passed already. That terrine should be in the freezer by now.
I finished my final layer and I'm covering the terrine with plastic wrap, and then I'm gently pressing it down with the foil covered foam and weighing it down with a couple of food cans.
Good on you, Po.
Thanks.
Po's put hers in the fridge. I am nearly there. I've got to get it in the fridge in the next 5 minutes. Put the freezer on super duper freeze.
I'm just making the avocado cream. I hope the fact that my terrine is the only one that's in there gives me an advantage. I don't want to win this because my friends are in this challenge, but I don't feel like it's my time to go yet.
When I went to put my terrine in the freezer, I saw Po's terrine just sitting there, and it was quite small. It wasn't very high.
Mine's taller than yours, Po.
Really?
Yeah. Is that a problem?
Maybe. Maybe by the time mine's compressed, it will be too short. Oh, shit. I'm scared. Should I put another layer on? Mine only just goes halfway, so when it gets compressed, it might go squash.
Too late now.
Let me see.
No.
What?
I need to go.
Oh.
You might need to put some more layers on there, Po.
Are you trying to psych me out?
You're a smart ass.
Andre made a bit of a joke saying, yes, you should, just to throw her into a bit of jeopardy and it confused Po even more.
Yep, I'm going to do another layer. Shit.
Yeah, you should.
It was funny, but a bit of a worry at the same time.
Is that bad or... No.
Don't get sidetracked, Po.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I love stuffing with Po. But then, you know, the people in the peanut gallery upstairs were telling her not to worry about it. I was like, shut up.
What did I do that for?
Right, it's smaller, but I wouldn't listen to me, that's for sure.
Oh my God. It just seemed like I was going too good, so I just had to self-sabotage or something. I don't know.
Guys, you've got half an hour left. Your terrine must be in the freezer by now setting. Jenny, you need to move along. That terrine should be in the freezer by now. Don't give up. You need to keep going.
Jenny,
Come on, Jenny. You can do it. You can do it.
I can't actually use my hands to line the tin properly because I haven't got a good grip. I'm putting a little bit more than I should inside.
You all right? Come on, you can do it.
I know, I just don't believe what I'm doing.
That's all right.
It's not like me.
That's all right.
Just,
Get it in the fridge and we'll hope for the best, yeah? Okay? Your butter looks good.
I wasted time there.
Well, flavour counts as well, so don't give up. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to give up.
Good. Good, good.
There's a little space left for my tureen in the freezer. When I'm trying to close the door of the freezer, it won't shut, and I'm giving an extra push, and I'm hoping for the best.
Freezer, Jenny.
I think just in the moment of being really flustered, she put it in one of the freezer trays, but with the weights on it, it sort of jammed the door. Kind of put the pressure on one side of the tureen, which is not a good thing.
Hey, Po, how you going?
I'm all right.
Made the vinaigrette?
Yep.
That's good. Got the hazelnuts. Avocado's done.
Yep.
Pretty much there. You're well ahead.
Yep.
Excellent. Well done.
You wouldn't want to let that get brown, that's for sure. What's your greatest fear right now, Po? Apart from burning the bread?
Yeah.
When I went to make the toast, I did spend quite a bit of time deliberating. So I cut the toasts really thinly and then kind of grilled them so that there was sort of nice charred marks on it.
Jenny, how you going now?
Good, thanks.
Tureen's in the freezer.
Yes.
Chilling down. Hazelnuts are on the go, obviously.
Yes.
And you're making the vinaigrette. So really,
I made the avocado as well.
Oh, you made the avocado? So you're catching up now. You're catching up.
I know I can catch up with the others now because to bake the dressing, the salad, the puree, and toast the sourdough, I know I've got no problem.
Jenny, you're nuts.
Sorry?
We know.
No, not... Yeah, good.
Hey, watch those fingers. You've already got,
fine.
you know, 2 damaged fingers.
Beautiful.
I'm looking down, I'm quite happy with everything, but I'm wondering whether I've put too much of the micro herbs on my plate.
Come on, you need to push along now. You have to get your terrines out of the freezer.
When we take our terrines out of the fridge, we have 15 minutes to cut it and plate it.
What happened here? I opened the freezer and to my horror, my terrine is uplifted one side. I'm thinking it's going to squash the anchovy butter, and I think that's all I need now.
Oh, I don't believe it. I'm annoyed. I shut the door and I didn't realise it just bended my terrine. I don't know what that means. It might ruin it.
You have 15 minutes to dress the plate.
Well, this is the moment to see if it all has worked out.
You know, you shake it. I try to pull the edges of the Glad wrap.
I don't want it to crack.
There is always the prospect of something going horribly wrong at this point.
What's the deal? Have I done it?
We have 15 minutes to cut it and plate it.
I'm annoyed. I shut the door and I didn't realise it just bended my terrine.
This is the moment to see if it all has worked out.
So many things can go wrong. What's the deal? Have I done it?
Wait. No, it's a bit... It's all right, though.
All right, fair enough. I've got a nice terrine in its entirety in front of me. Now I have to cut it.
It's all right.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
It's great. It's good, man. Well done.
You've got 5 minutes to go. That's 5 minutes.
With 5 minutes to go, I'm feeling really excited about seeing whether this terrain has turned out.
Oh, Poe.
Well done, Poe.
Thank you.
I see quite a nice looking terrain, so I'm really pleased.
Yeah. Well done.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
Hey!
beautiful.
Well done.
Might be all right. Finally it comes out, and it doesn't look as bad tilted-wise, but it did push the butter on the sides and covered the layers of the salmon on the side. It looks all right. So I'm a little bit concerned about that.
1 minute to go. Come on, let's go.
Come on, guys.
Go, guys.
Probably shouldn't fiddle around with it too much because it's probably going to start melting. Looks terrible, doesn't it? No.
Looks fine.
This was a strange pressure test. I think it's going to be one of the closest ones.
Personally, I think Andre's looks the best.
Well,
30 seconds to go, guys. Come on, move it.
Andre's plating looked beautiful, but then Poe's looked a bit more generous.
I dare say that Poe's looks the most even in terms of its layers.
We really don't know who's going to come home tonight.
Your time's up. Step away from the plates.
Well done, guys. Well done. You've made your first terrine.
It's my turn to present my plate to the judges. I think one of the highlights in the competition so far for me is plating up that random strawberry risotto dish yesterday and getting hammered.
Are you upset that we're commenting?
no, not at all. I want to be a chef.
That's good.
That's what the problem is, right? That's what the problem is.
I'm nervous. The dish has to speak for itself now.
Thanks, Andre.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Andre's done an excellent job considering he's never made a terrain before. It's a little bit of a ski slope, a little bit uneven in terms of the layering of the salmon and how thick the butter is, but as a first attempt, it's pretty damn good. Bit of toast, George, bit of toast. Bit of toast. It's a really pleasant tasting dish. It's really subtle. There's that nice oiliness from the smoked salmon and a really lemony whipped butter with the absolute hint of anchovy, which I like. I don't like it too strong. So I think he's done a really good job. You know, if he could improve that presentation and fining that terrain, as you put it, Matt, the seam of butter is really the only improvement he can make.
For a first attempt, he's done a fantastic job. I mean, this is difficult. This isn't easy stuff. It tastes really lovely. The butter's whipped, and if you don't whip that butter enough, it's like taking blocks of butter out of the fridge. My only criticism is he's over-pureed the avocado where it's starting to turn brown, and probably didn't get the acid into it quick enough.
The real success of that dish has been the whipping of the butter, hasn't it? You've got a lot of air in there, so it's very light. The only issue I might have is maybe it's marginally too acidic in terms of the lemon. Well, that's certainly quite a tough dish to live up to. We better see the next one. Jenny, looking at the other dishes, do you think you've done enough to keep yourself safe?
I hope so. The hardest thing for me today was to cook against those two kids.
You've got a really good relationship with them.
Yeah.
And I know that when they talk about you with kind of a great deal of respect.
Yeah, I respect what I think about food.
Yeah, absolutely. That's okay.
I love to go out on a dish that I cook, not what you, but it's a competition.
Well, thank you, Jenny.
Thank you very much.
The first thing I notice is a lot more generosity with the vinaigrette. But George, what do you reckon about the layers there?
Yeah, it's a lot of butter in there, a lot of butter. You know, to palate that is going to be quite difficult.
The anchovy butter is very subtle on the anchovy, nicely whipped, a bit too generous. You could only eat a quarter, I think, of what she's put on the plate there. So it's two big, generous hunks of terrine. It's too much for one person, but it does taste nice. It's just way too generous.
What I like about this dish is there's lots of vinaigrette, and it sort of needs that sort of acidy vinaigrette to cut through all that fat smoked salmon-y flavour, and of course that whipped butter. My criticism is the terrine. It's just too much butter in comparison to smoked salmon, and you know you can't get through that. You eat that, you won't be able to have a main course.
Yeah.
This is a classic Jenny version of a dish, isn't it? Generous. I agree with you, there's a lot of butter in terms of the ratio to the salmon, but maybe if you're spreading it over bread, that's less of an issue. Spreading over toast. So pretty fine effort, really, all in all. And like I said, it's a classic Jenny dish, generous in every proportion.
One dish left to taste, and that's Poe's. Shall we bring her in?
Yeah.
As an artist, I'm quite aware of presentation and balance and all that kind of stuff. And I am staring at the dish thinking, I really should remove some of that green, but I don't know what made me just go, no, just use it all. It's good. It's there. I feel very, very down and very disillusioned. Yeah, I'm really doubting whether I can get through this competition. Yeah, I'd really like the opportunity to prove myself.
Poe, yes. Second week in elimination. Any issues with the dish?
Maybe it could have been a little bit higher. I probably should have just done at least one more layer.
The salad, you happy with that?
Too much on there. It's micro, so I should have used it a little bit more sparingly. It's precious stuff.
At the end of the day, it comes down to the taste.
Thanks, George.
Thank you. I want to eat this. It's standing out. The layers of smoked salmon with butter are beautiful. The salad is my only issue. There's just too much of it. But that terrine is just absolutely spanking. And can I also say, the bar marking on this toast, it sort of replicates the terrine in many ways. So you sort of, it flows. Get rid of that salad and just give me that. That is just absolutely spot on. Beautiful.
Balance of flavours, absolutely perfect. Anchovy butter's really nicely whipped. Hint of the anchovy, a little bit of lemon. It's really well layered. You can tell an artist has made this.
Great balance of anchovy butter with smoked salmon, not over the top at all.
That terrine is impeccable. the anchovy butter, which is not too acidic from lemon, and has a true flavour of the anchovies, which I'm not so sure the other two had.
Honestly, there's qualified chefs that can't make terrines like this. So we've got to be very proud of the efforts.
Well, we've tasted the 3 dishes, so let's get them in.
It must be the hardest moment since I've been in the competition.
Andre, good effort. Remind us of that dream of yours if you win MasterChef Australia. What is it that you want to do?
This was a refreshing moment for me because it was a time where I can communicate my cause to the judges because they really don't know what I'm about. I came into this without being naive. You know, I didn't once say I want to be a chef because I don't know if my domestic passion translates into the commercial world. So it was about me discovering the characteristics of my passion. And I discovered soon into the competition, you know, 2-3 weeks into it, that this is going to be my vocation. I'm going to become a chef. It was like I was prepared, but I've been prepared from the very first day to speak like this. This is an easy question for me. This is probably the easiest thing that I've had to do in the competition, is justify why I'm here.
Good.
I could have gone on and on and on.
Thanks, Andre.
Jeannie, we're sitting in an elimination, and so there's a possibility you may be going home.
I know.
If that does happen.
I don't stop. It'll take me longer, but it'll go on.
I think although I cried, I'm quite proud. I mean, I become emotional, but that's how I am. That's Jenny.
I forget how old I am, because to me, age has no barrier. I think young, I behave young, and I feel this is now the last stop on my train. I mean, I've got a government job, but the last 2 years since I've been on my own, I've spent all my money, all my time off, and now I've taken all my long service to be here, to travel and learn about food. And I honestly hang on to every word you 3 judges say. I don't think anyone in here has taken as many notes as I do when you people talk.
When I heard Andre and Jenny's little speeches about why they were in the competition, I did feel quite intimidated because they've got a lot of depth to why they want to be here.
Poe.
I don't think I ever want to be that intense with food.
Where's the dream right now?
I've always maintained that the first goal that I have is to write this cookbook because it will consolidate what sort of restaurant I like to open, basically.
And what is it?
At the moment, well, no, it will be a dumpling and noodle bar.
I think because my speech was a little bit, I don't know, not quite as intense as Jenny and Andre's, that they might question my art competing with my passion for food.
You're not going to have, like, Poe pictures around the place with prices on the bottom, no?
No, I'm actually quite against mixing my 2 careers, and I think, like, my skills as an artist will really come into hand in terms of how the place looks.
I think I just got a little bit flustered and wasn't very articulate, so I might have come across as a bit ditzy or something today, I'm not sure.
It's been a very difficult decision. The time has come to reveal who's going home. Poe?
I start to feel quite ill because it followed straight after the questioning about my commitment with art and all that. So, yeah, I started to think, oh, crap, maybe it's me.
You're still in the competition. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. That was an outstanding effort, that terrine. It was just beautifully done. When you apply yourself even more like you did today, you perfect things and you do things really well. Well done.
Thanks, George.
Now it's down to Jenny and me.
Jenny and Andre, it comes down to you two and the dish that you cooked.
I was really stressed at that moment. I was wringing my hands.
And I can hear actually Andre's heartbeat. He's quite nervous.
Andre, you're still in the competition. Jenny, I'm sorry to say you're out.
Well, I was really relieved. The attention was then on Jeannie.
Jenny, if there could be any better testament to the impact that you've had on the competition, it's to look at these two who look like they're both lost something very special.
I will miss these two a lot.
She's a pretty special woman. I think Poe and I have been blown away with this woman, and she's an inspiration, definitely.
I thought I was passionate about food, but just listening to her, yeah, just for your sense of humour, just amazing, yeah, warmth. You're definitely someone that I will catch up with in the future,
definitely.
and that I'll really miss.
I'm going to miss talking 24/7 about food all the time without being told off, and being with people that really love food, and that's what you do, cook and talk about it all the time.
Well, Jenny, it's time for you to leave the MasterChef kitchen. Thank you.
I'll see you. Take care. Make sure you win. Take care. Take care. Now, I walk out of MasterChef kitchen. I know this is the end, Jenny and MasterChef. But it's not the end of Jenny's passion for food. I'm more determined now. I'm going to really focus on completing that book. You sort of talk about doing things and you never do. It's going to make it easier now, realizing the dream that I had coming into MasterChef. My dream was to complete my book. And that's what actually I feel that I'm doing now. I'm going to do it a lot faster.
We sit down together for a meal. The two who've come back from the elimination just, I guess, need a nice hot dinner and some relaxed time.
I kind of got a bit carried away with salad.
Salad in the terrain today.
Hilarious.
I think everybody in the house is a bit stunned that Jeannie's gone. You sort of think to yourself, wow, I thought she would be here till much later in the competition, and then you sort of realise it is much later in the competition.
Yum. This is good, guys.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Good dinner. The dynamics are changing. They're becoming seriously intense. Type of upbringing. There's a lack of sleep. There's high emotions. Some really, really hard challenges ahead, I think.
The MasterChef experience would be one of my best experiences in my life.
I'm very excited to see my daughter, to give big kiss, to hold my heart.
I would definitely do it again, and it's given me a new drive in life, a new profession. I recommend people to enter. It's the best experience you'll ever have in your life. I think it would be one of the greatest experiences you'll ever have in your life.
Very talented friend. You're very talented.
It's not the end of Jenny's passion for food.
We whipped up in 30 minutes.
I'm more determined now to continue to finish my book and to be really committed to what I'm going to be doing.
Tomorrow night on MasterChef Australia.
You're about to battle it out with one of the most awarded chefs in this country.
Celebrity chef Matt Moran steps up to the hot plate.
Bring it on, buddy.
If I win, what a bonus.
It's Justine's second attempt to beat a pro.
He's an Australian icon in the chef world.
Will she get fast-tracked to the last week of the competition?
There's no reason why Justine can't pull it off.
Freaking out.
Justine, I'm going to give you encouragement. Hurry up.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this dish up in time.
My heart just sank for it.
Disaster!